If you're looking for a beginner's guide to Amazon FBA Wholesale, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you a 14-day step-by-step guide that you can follow with 50 suppliers that you can contact today to start ordering profitable products. Okay, so today I'm joined by Eamon McCaffrey, and he is going to share with you his exact 14-day step-by-step process that he's helped with many other sellers to get accounts opened and profitable deals purchased from suppliers. Eamon, tell us a little about this process and tell me what we need to do to get orders placed in the next 14 days.
Thank you. So many people focus on trying to get accounts opened. I don't do that. What I do is I contact them and place an initial inquiry for an order, which gets the attention of the decision makers and those of who you need to speak to actually give me an order. Below, I've got a list of 50 wholesalers, both in North America or in the UK, that you can also contact to get that initial order out the door for you. So let me talk you through step by step how we do it in our business so you can also do it for yourself. Step one, after you've contacted the wholesaler and made that initial contact, they will provide you with a stock list. There is many different ways that you can approach this. You can either try and find a product you want to purchase and then hunt for a supplier, or you can pick a supplier that you think has a good range of products that you're interested in and then go through their stock list line by line. Now, how do you know which supplier to go with? Well, Google here's your friend on that one. Once you get the name of a supplier, Google them, look at the website, look at the sort of products they're doing. If you've never sold any of those products before, if you've never heard of those products before, they could be the best in the world or they could be complete nonsense. Try and stick to something you at least have some background knowledge of, whether that is from previous sales history or within your own personal life, maybe a hobby and interest or with your own day-to-day activities. From there, you can identify products. You can quickly look on Amazon to see, hey, are they selling before you contact the supplier? From there, you want to contact the supplier. That can be by either email, phone, carrier pigeon, and you want to get their attention. If you phone up or email them and ask for an account, they're going to just send you a generic response of, hi, we're not interested or we don't deal with e-com sellers. That is you, keep. Straight away, out the door, you're going no further. How we get around that is, hi, my name is Eamon. I'm wanting to inquire about placing an order for a pallet of Colgate toothpaste. Immediately, whoever answers the phone is simply going to go, no, you need to speak to Dan in the counter, Larissa and wherever, and put you through. The person that answers the phone is your new best friend. They could be having a bad day. They could be the person you need to speak to, but they could have just missed their lunch and they just had a bad meeting and don't want to speak to you. You need to be personable. You need to make them happy. You need to make a communication straight away. Don't just open the phone, hi, I want to make a call. No. Come in, ask them about their day, chat a little bit about them, make small talk. For some people, this isn't easy. You may need to practice this. Top tip that nobody will tell you, phone the supplier that you don't care about first. If you fumble it, screw it up, you never lost anything. Once you've that done, contact the suppliers you are interested in. Whoever answers the phone, be nice and polite. Find out their name, use their name, be personable. Ask who you need to speak to about placing an order. Say you're currently purchasing these products from elsewhere. If you've got the time and you've the foresight to do it, if you can find two suppliers that are quite similar and say you've just been inquiring with the other supplier about the price of the same products, that adds legitimacy because you're name dropping other people within the industry that they're going to say, wow, okay, they're dealing with our main competitor. Let's get them in the door with ourselves so we can get repeat orders. Something that not many people will tell you is wholesalers have sale targets to hit. They have margins to try and hit. They have turnover to hit. They want to sell new stock. What they don't want to do is they don't want to have to deal with people that are going to be a significant pain in their backside. If you can articulate to them, hey, I have money that I would like to give you for your products. I'm not going to be a nuisance. I'm a professional business. We will do what we say we're going to do and we're not going to mess you about. You're 90% of the way there straight away before you've even placed an order. So from that point, you've got your stock list. You've inquired about the price of one or two specific items. You've maybe mentioned a pallet or 2 pallet quantity. That gets their attention. You have placed no order yet. You haven't committed to buying that stock. You're inquiring about pricing. Once they send you a price list for that, say, hey, considering as I am placing an order for this item, why don't you send me a current stock list of what you have in stock at the minute? I'll see if there's anything else I can tag on. Once you have that, you've got about a 1 or 2 week window for you can place an order without any hassle. Once you get that list, it is up to you then if you can place an order. You could get that list and the prices just don't work. You could get that list and realize you don't want to be selling them products for whatever reason, or there's just nothing there for you to sell. The margins just don't work out. But if you can put your time in, go through the list, it can take line by line to go through it. If it's a couple of thousand lines, that's a lot of hours. The first one can be a lot of effort. But once you get that done, contact back to the guy and go, hey, in the meantime, I've already ordered those stock. Stand waiting on them. I couldn't wait. But I had a flick through your catalog. I found these products X, Y, and Z, and I'd like to place an order with them. Let me know what your ordering process is, and I'm happy to proceed. You don't ever ask for an account. An account is of no benefit to you. What you want is the physical stock. They want to move the physical stock. And I don't get hung up on asking for what's your minimum order value, what's your minimum order quantity. What the supplier hears when you ask those questions is, what is the absolute bare minimum of effort I can do to get an account with you? And most times their approach will be, we don't want to put in any effort for you. Please go away. So I never ask about minimums because there's no benefit to do it. Get that in, get the order. When you're doing that there, and just be like, let me know what your order requirements are, whether that is X works, whether that is minimum order value, minimum quantity, minimum SKU level. Just ask them casually, what's your order requirements? And from that, toe the line. If they say minimum order quantity is 100,000 and you don't have it, be straight about it. Be like, that's a little rich for me. Can you recommend somebody else who would have a minimum order value of 1 to 2,000, 5,000? Be honest. Most people within this industry will appreciate that hell of a lot more than you trying to act a big person and then not being able to follow through with it. I recently have phoned suppliers and they've told me their minimums and I'm like, I can't touch that. I know I can't move that volume of stock in that time period because it's short date stock. Can you recommend any of your customers that I could deal with? And they're more than happy to do that because they know that you will build up to it. Place the order, come back to them and say, hey, got the order ready, rock and roll. What do you need from me now? And let them then guide you. Once you have put an order on their table and they can see that that's going to go towards their sale target, if there's issues with it, if there's something needs to change, if you need to talk through it, they will work with you. You are in the door and that is you done. If it comes to references, payment detail, stuff like that, just ask them what they would like. And if it's not completely like out of left field what they're asking for, just go with it. Don't think too much about it, just go with it. If it's a brand new supplier and they're asking for cash up front, make sure you do your due diligence. Unfortunately, within this industry, there are scammers knocking about. So if you haven't physically met them in person, do your due diligence, check them out on the Better Business Bureau, check out Google reviews, type in their company name with the word scam, that's usually a good one. Ask about. People, when they're happy, don't say too much about it. People that have been ripped off, let people know about it. Do your due diligence and find out if there's any negative information about them. If at all possible, if they're geographically close in any way, try and go visit them. If they're not, I have seen me spend several hours walking around industrial estates on Google Maps, just trying to verify locations. One supplier in Paris, I made him stand outside with that day's newspaper and take a selfie. I was that convinced of the scam, I made him do that, and then I verified that against Google Maps. It checked out. He's a great supplier and I've been dealing with him for years. That's how it's done.
That's some dedication. Absolutely love it.
I've actually done that. I was speaking to them this morning.
And I think if anyone's watching, obviously, again, in the description down below, you can get that list of 50 suppliers to get you started. What I really like about this technique versus what most people talk about, get the list, start scanning. I get it, but like you said, it's just how low can we go? What's the minimum order quantity? You're not sending good signals to the supplier that you're going to be a good customer. You're sending the signals that you're going to be probably a pain in the ass. You're going to do the minimum. It's not going to be great. Whereas when you come in with like, hey, I want this product. This is how much I'm looking to spend. If they start engaging, which generally they do, immediately you know that the terms that you've discussed, which is quantity and the product, is going to be sufficient for what they're looking for because they're going to engage with you. If they come back and say, hey, thanks for trying to buy this product, but our minimum order quantity is 100,000, you're like, you already know that the quantity you're trying to buy is just not right. So you're like, cool, I can't really work that supply. But the moment they just start having the conversation, you know, like this could work. And obviously from that point onward, then it's about continuing that discussion. Once you're in with one product, you can then start getting in with more, which is so interesting. And this is a really good way of getting into suppliers and getting orders placed super quickly.
It's so funny you say that. The amount of times I spoke to suppliers, and like the supplier I deal with in Poland, minimum order quantity 5,000. Phone them up recently and be like, guys, I only want to place a small order here. It's nowhere near $5,000. It's only at 3. Any leeway? And they're like, yeah, sure, head up. Dealt with him before. They know they're still getting the guaranteed order and they're happy to do that because we've got the relationship there. Like I said, all these suppliers, they have sales targets to hit. If you're coming back with an order of 150 quid, it's not even worth getting somebody in a warehouse to have to pallet off a shelf. And I've had suppliers tell me that if you want specific pricing, you need to make it worth their while because of their warehousing systems to actually move pallets, there's minimum price points that they need to hit. So once you start moving into the volumes game, that's what you need to be looking at. I have a friend who works in logistics and he keeps going, why are you wasting your time moving anything less than a container load? Like, a container of stock is a massive amount to move on Amazon. He's like, I only move containers. Call me when you're doing that. Horses for courses. There is a supplier there for everybody. That is why the list that I provided is so good. There's somebody there for everybody. They are dealing from people that have minimum orders of a couple £100 right up to really big whales. There's somebody for everybody.
Yeah, and I think what I also like about the process is, because we've done that many times, and I find it very, very useful, is the fact that you can, just because you're asking the question, hey, can I buy X product or X units, doesn't mean you actually have to buy it, because one of the easy outs is, hey, I'm really sorry, another company has given us a better price, we're going to go with them. But I really like you guys, what else do you sell? Let's see if we can do business another way. So there's a really good in without actually having to commit, but you make it look like you're going to commit. But you're being very, also as well, from the other side, i.e. like their side, the one thing I really love is the fact that they're not having to create an account, send you a price list, ask loads of questions. What they're doing is like, I just have to say yes or no to this product, this quantity, and tell you the price. It's really easy for them to engage. So again, the amount of work the supplier has to do is a lot less than what you'd do if you asked, hey, can I have an account? You're like, oh, which is why you get a much better response rate from it.
One thing I will say is this isn't just a gimmick that I do to try and get orders or get accounts. I've done this. I phoned a supplier in England earlier this year. I've looked at one specific product, phoned them up, hey, have you this and what price? I'm like, no, let us send you our stock. Let's get an account open. No. I only want that one product. You don't have it. Best of luck with your sales. Goodbye. And they phoned me back. I was like, would you like an account? I'm like, no. I only wanted that one product. You don't have it. I'll call you some other time. And they couldn't believe that I was being genuine about that. On the flip side of it, one thing that I do quite often is I would phone my regular suppliers and be like, hey, I know this is the category you're in. I've checked and you don't sell these products. Can you get them, or can you point me in the direction of where to get them? And again, as thousands of wholesalers around the world, but it's still quite a small industry and they all work with each other. As much as they're competitors, they will play a ball with each other. And if they can't bring it in, they will point you in the right direction. And that has got me some really quality products that is never on a stock list, is never on a website, is never seen because they didn't have it. They lifted the phone to one of their suppliers and got it specifically for you, which means you're usually getting better pricing and you're getting exclusivity, which is what you want in this game. That is the end goal.
Yeah, and what I also like about that is and by the way, it's a really good question to ask, because then you start understanding which suppliers can go, will go above and beyond, but also what does above and beyond look like? i.e. like, oh, this supplier can actually access all these other brands that they don't actually stock, but they can access. And then also as well, you understand like what's the lead time. And also a lot of the times, because they don't normally buy the stock in, they'll just buy it directly from the manufacturer, for example, or from wherever they buy it from. But when you would put the inquiry in, sometimes they come up with pricing, you're like, whoa, that's amazing. Like, I wish I'd known it. But because you never asked the question, you never knew what pricing you could get. And so therefore it's like, wow, this is really interesting.
100%. I had been buying an item from, again, coming out of Europe. The pricing was just under £6. Recently, I couldn't sell it because pricing on Amazon had tanked and there's just no margin on it. And I was straight and honest with the suppliers, like, how come you've stopped ordering this? And like, here's the price on Amazon. There's no margin on it. I don't know how the other guys are doing it, but I'm not going to be a busy fool. And he's like, well, what would I need to do in price? I'm like, honestly, I think it needs to sell it to me at a loss to make this work. Told him what the prices were, explained all the fees on Amazon, explained where the price point needed to be. And he's like, okay, at least I know. 2 weeks later, he phoned me back with a 60% discount, which I assure you is unheard of in this game. He's like, but you have to take 4,000 units. I'm like, okay. From that initial WhatsApp to me sending him the money was 40 minutes. I checked it out. I ran the numbers. Because I'd already sold the product, we knew what our shipping costs were going to be. We knew what our prep costs were going to be, lead times, everything down to the wire. Calculated all out, looked at that and went, invest 12,000, get 7,000 back, 2 month lead time, let's go. And I had that money back in my account for Q4 ready to go again.
Using this technique, is there anything that people should know about, maybe concerns, worries, things to be like careful about, and that you've seen obviously when you've worked with other students, people that you've taught this to?
I think it comes down to a confidence thing. So there's only so much can be done via email. Within Wholesale, it's a relationships game. And the best way to foster a relationship is the more personal you can be, the better. So you can only go so far with emails. And what I've noticed now, a lot of suppliers, they want to jump on Zoom calls. They want to Google Meet. I've one organized for 8 a.m. tomorrow morning with somebody in Czech Republic. And they're like, cool, we're happy to set that up. Let's jump on a call first to better understand your business. They want the video contact. They want to build that relationship because they don't want to go to the effort of a one-hit wonder. They don't want to do one order with me. They want to build that up. They want to know about my business. So for you to be really successful when it comes to Wholesale, get yourself out of that comfort zone, speak to the people, phone them up, Zoom calls, whatever it needs to be, find out about them. Like some of my reps, I know their kids. I've spoke about them. I've seen photographs. I've got them on WhatsApp. I share memes. I try and keep it, work safe, but not always. And you build that relationship so that when it comes, if they have a small consignment of stock that you're really looking for and they know that they have 5 customers that want it, why are they phoning you? Why are they coming to you first? If you are that pain in their rear, they really don't want to have to deal with you. You're the last to the table in every deal. You don't want that. Be a decent human being to them. Be personable. Get to know them. Like if you're going to be doing business with me, you want to know them anyway and build that relationship. Once you have a good relationship, you'll get better pricing, you'll get better service, you'll get better stock, and you'll get better profits. It's that simple.
Yeah, agreed. We didn't ask you about it at the very beginning, but tell us a little bit about you.
Cool. So my name's Eamon McCaffrey. I'm from County Armagh, Northern Ireland. I have been selling on Amazon in 5 days' time. It will have been 8 years since I first started. So yeah, just noticing that on my clock on my computer. Thank you. I started out side hustle or running around local shops, thinking that this was never going to go anywhere. Pre-COVID, I decided to go full-time self-employed selling on Amazon, just sort of knocked it out of the park. It has by no means been an easy road for me. I have taken huge risks on both building warehouses and investing large amounts of money from short-term funding, and I'd made it work. I was speaking to a guy today and he was asking about, why do you sell on Amazon? I was like, for me, it's the game. The money is nice. The freedom of it's nice. But for me, it's the actual game of finding products. Midnight last night, I was sitting building out my Q4 Christmas orders because I'm going on holidays in the morning and I have a deadline of getting it in before Friday. So it's like, it has to be done Monday night. And I was sitting deciding on stock that I have been buying now for the last 3 or 4 seasons of how many pallets to buy. When I first started that out, I was running around retail stores trying to get a couple of dozen units. And it's a game of building that up year on year, of seeing where it's going to go in the future. That's what I love. The money comes and goes. I could go get a 9 to 5 and get the same money or more, but I love the freedom of it. I love the game, and that's what I do. On the flip side of that, for the last 5 years, we have been helping people sell on Amazon via IGM Entrepreneur. We help people from retail, online, wholesale, and their own brand products within Amazon. We work with a network of experts and suppliers across North America, Europe, and Asia. We have seen a lot of people come and go in the business. We've been about a lot. I've been blocked by a lot of gurus on social media because I point out the flaws in their statements. There's no backdoors to me. I'm straight to the point. You're either going to like me or hate me. The people that hate me are doing something nefarious. People that like me, I've usually saved their business. Without any exaggeration, there has been several really big sellers whose businesses are where they are today because of key things I have done to either guide them or help them directly. And that is what I love doing as well. Used to be a skill feature. Now I do this in coaching. Yes, we charge for it. Of course we do. But I love helping people. And some of the comments that I've got back have been life-changing. They've been that incredible. So I could go on for hours about who I am, but that's just a little.
And if anyone wants to get in contact, what's the best way? How can they find out more?
Within the download, there should be a link to booking a call with us. On socials, you can get me on Facebook, either Eamon McCaffrey or IGM Entrepreneur, and the same on Instagram.
Cool, fantastic. And if anyone's watching, obviously have a look in the description down below. You can get all of that and see all the links and everything else. Eamon, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. I love this technique. It's a really good technique which actually works. It's a lot more efficient than doing the whole kind of opening accounts and this downloading. So thank you so much for sharing it. And again, guys, do check out that download. It's super useful. And obviously getting access to those suppliers is really, really helpful as well. Eamon, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your knowledge. And obviously I look forward to catching up soon.
Appreciate it, Thomas. Thank you.